Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Screen Orb. We've all had tough days at the office, but some actors dedicated to giving it their all took their work a few steps too far. Though these critically acclaimed, often award-winning performances are a delight to watch, the experience of preparing for and recovering from these roles did a number on the actors involved and left a lasting impression, not always for the positive. Here are several actors who went to the extreme mile for their craft. But before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button to enter our monthly shout-out giveaway. Just comment down below saying I subscribed and we'll enter you into the giveaway. Number 1. Isabelle Adjani. Possession any horror buff knows the subway scene in Andrzej Zawalski's 1981 Possession to be one of the most horrifying, shocking moments of body horror ever to grace the silver screen. And if you haven't seen the film, buckle up, you're in for a treat. Isabelle Adjani won a Caesar Award for her performance, but the intense physical and emotional demands of the role made for an extremely difficult recuperation. Adjani later told a French magazine that it took her years of therapy to get Anna out of her system and that she would never again attempt another role like it. Number 2. Adrien Brody, The Pianist. Though Brody's physical transformation for 2002's The Pianist is obvious, the actor has also discussed the enormous mental and emotional strain of portraying a Holocaust survivor, which earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor in 2003. You know, my experiences of making this film made me feel very aware of the sadness and dehumanization of people at times of war. To prepare for the role, Brody gave up his apartment, sold his car, disconnected his phones, and moved to Europe. But it was the emotional effect of intense hunger during his extreme crash diet that he found the most surprising and difficult challenge to deal with. Brody told the BBC, "I've experienced loss, I've experienced sadness in my life, but I didn't know the desperation that comes with hunger." There were moments when he wasn't sure he would get out of the experience with sanity intact, saying that it took a year and a half to, quote, settle back into things. Number 3. Colin Firth. The King's Speech. Colin Firth plays the future King of England, George VI, in the Oscar-winning The King's Speech, and has to give a number of speeches in addition to a number of other royal duty. The film has a villain of sorts in the form of a near debilitating stammer that ruins nearly every speech George gives until he hires a vocal coach. Firth himself also worked closely with a voice coach and watched recordings of George speaking to better emulate both his vocal shortcomings as well as his physical mannerisms and nervous tics when stammering. Firth immersed himself so deeply in the role that he admitted in an interview that he still occasionally lapsed into the stammer when speaking casually, even briefly stammering during the interview itself. It's worth noting that this happened in May of 2011, a full 8 months after the film premiered in September of the previous year. Judging by how flawlessly he enunciated every syllable in Kingsman: The Secret Service while taking down thugs with an umbrella in 2014, it looks like Firth has since gotten over the stammer. Number 4. Hugh Laurie in House. During the casting process of House, the producers famously explained what they wanted, that they wanted a quintessentially American actor to play Dr. House, shortly before hiring British actor Hugh Laurie. Laurie apparently got the role because his American accent on his audition tape was so convincing nobody realized he was British. The director of the pilot even pointed to the tape and said, "See, this is what I want, an American guy." Laurie also rarely went for it when he came to walking with a limp to portray the cane using House. So much so, the actor still walked with a limp in 2015 after 8 straight years of pretending to have one on set. Laurie also reportedly attempted to ease the load on his leg by occasionally switching the leg that had a limp, something he noticed nobody ever noticed or called him on during the filming or in the years since the show ended. Apparently, Laurie's acting is so good that he can make people overlook both his Britishness and the fact that he didn't always limp with the same leg, despite that being a defining aspect of the character. Number 5. Bob Hoskins, who framed Roger Rabbit 1 of late British actor Bob Hoskins' most famous roles was that of alcoholic LA Gum Show Eddie Valiant in the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Hoskins had to spend several hours a day for 8 months talking to and acting alongside cartoon characters who weren't really there. Scotch on the Rocks and I Mean Ice, Hoskins would later note that he learned how to hallucinate, that Roger and the other characters were actually there to cope with the dissonance of constantly hearing their voices but never seeing them while filming. When shooting finally ended, Hoskins found himself constantly talking to himself and even hallucinating that Roger was sitting in the same room for months afterwards, prompting his doctor to advise him to take a much needed break from acting. Number 6. Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. Ledger's performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight was so chilling that it landed him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Tragically, it was a posthumous award, as Ledger had died of an accidental drug overdose in 2008. In the years that followed his premature death, rumors swirled that the preparation for the dark role had contributed to Ledger's demise. Before filming began, Ledger put himself in a strict isolation, keeping a diary of disturbing images to enter the realm of a psychopath. He sometimes only slept 2 hours a night while filming, according to a November 2007 interview with the New York Times. It was a mixture of painkillers, anti-anxiety drugs, and sleeping pills that ultimately caused Ledger's death just 2 months later. Number 7. Charlie Hunman, an American. TV and movies, Charlie Hunman has played everything from a soccer hooligan to a giant robot pilot, and he's known for his extraordinarily convincing American accent, making him one of a handful of chameleon-like British actors able to convincingly pass as an American in his various roles. Years of living in the States, however, took their toll on Hunman's actual real-life accent, and when he appeared on TV in 2013 to plug a movie on Conan, he spoke with a bizarre amalgamation of various American dialects that prompted confusion and mockery, especially in Hunman's native UK. Hunman spoke about this in 2017 when he admitted that his accent, or lack thereof, had gotten so bad that when he signed on to star in King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, he had to hire a dialect coach to relearn how to speak with an English accent. Number 8. Janet Leigh. Psycho Academy Award-winning actress Janet Leigh is known mainly for her one role, playing the character who gets stabbed to death in a shower early on in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. The scene terrified millions, including Leigh. After filming Wrapped, she never felt comfortable in a shower again. In interviews, Leigh noted that she stopped taking showers after watching the scene. On the rare occasions she had to take a shower, she would only use it briefly while staring directly at the floor, and she wouldn't even draw the shower curtain. Number 9. James Cromwell in Babe. James Cromwell is the kind of actor whose appearance is so distinctive, most people know his face but not his name. He scored one of his best few leading film roles in 1995's Babe, in which he was upstaged by a talking pig, but it all worked out, given that it was not only a massive hit, but it changed Cromwell's life, turning him from a guy who occasionally flirted with vegetarianism into a vegan. Cromwell has called the experience of making the film a turning point in his life, recalling in an interview with Vice that he was profoundly affected by seeing a small piglet react to being put onto a patch of grass. He said, quote, "When that little pig was just put down on that big pitch and saw the blue sky and the green grass and sea, that pig just took off. I said, I don't want any part of this, I am out." Cromwell has been an ardent supporter of animal rights ever since, especially pigs, which understandably now have a special place in his heart thanks to Babe and its sequel, Babe 2, A Pig in the City. Number 10. Christopher McDonald in Happy Gilmore. Christopher McDonald isn't exactly a household name, but his performance in Happy Gilmore is so memorable that generations of filmgoers can't look at a picture of his face without blurting out, "Hey, it's Shooter McGavin." That's just one role out of the many in a solid career, but it looks like McDonald doesn't mind being forever associated with the hot-headed golf pro. McDonald told the AV Club that he took the role basically because he enjoyed playing golf, and won a tournament shortly after being offered the script. He was hesitant at first, saying he wasn't eager to go back on a film set after shooting 2 movies back to back, but being paid to play golf and hang out with Adam Sandler seemed like a pretty sweet deal. According to McDonald, his golf game got sick since he played for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week while filming, and as an added bonus, now that he's synonymous with the Shooter McGavin, he basically gets to play golf for free for the rest of his life. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also guys, please do check out one of the 2 videos you're seeing on screen right now. It really does help us out. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.